Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy Reeves, head blender of Cornell and Deal Pipe Tobacco Company, and today I'm here to talk to all of you about Palmetto Balkan. This is a blend that we first introduced year before last. It was heavily inspired by the Balkan mixtures of old, often featuring Syrian Latakia. Unfortunately, Syrian Latakia is just simply no longer available. There are all sorts of reasons for this that we could discuss at length, but the long and the short of it is that Syrian Latakia, based on the Shek El Bint Oriental varietal, simply is not available in any sort of quantity that a manufacturer might be able to really make use of these days. And so I wanted to try my hand at creating something that I thought would harken back to some of the wine-like and more fruity characteristics that Syrian Latakia had and was really prized for and famous for. And so C&D has implemented a labor-intensive, time-intensive proprietary process. We've used Turkish Latakia to achieve this, but we've done something at the factory to really kind of bring out some of the characteristics in this Latakia that I think are there. It just requires a little bit of TLC to get to that point. So Palmetto Balkan features this further process on the Latakia. The Orientals in a Balkan blend are really the main focal point of that blend. That's why a Balkan blend is so named, because the Oriental components make up a greater percentage of the blend usually, or at least are more of a focal point in terms of how the blend translates in taste. You are not going to notice the Carolina grown red Virginia as predominantly in a Balkan blend as you would if this was Palmetto English. You're not going to notice the Latakia intense and prominently. This is a softer approach on the Virginia components and the Latakia components, and really angled towards showcasing the relationship between Latakia, which is a fire-cured Oriental, and the special Orientals that are used here. In this case, 2018 Izmir and 2019 Basma. I think that Palmetto Balkan has a lot of the sort of wine-like character and a lot of the sort of fruity character that old Syrian blends were sort of famed for, but you also will notice just a wonderful and delicate display of all kinds of warming spice and nutty and floral complexities from the Orientals that we've used here. Backing all these up are subtle hints of Carolina grown red Virginia from crop year 2017, and the whole thing I just think sings nicely. It's going to age well. There's plenty of natural sugar in the Latakia, the Virginia, and the Oriental to aid in fermentation. We offer this in an 8-ounce can because we think you're going to like it. We think you're going to enjoy smoking quite a bit of it. So Palmetto Balkan, it was chosen as a name really because the process of taking readily available Latakia, obviously not of Syrian origin, and figuring out a path, figuring out a way to sort of remove some of the layer of soot that builds up on the Latakia. So much of a fire-cured flavor really comes from the kind of wood that is burned. And in the case of Latakia, every sort of producer has their own approach to the kinds of woods that they're using, but also to the kinds of sort of spicing that they do along with the wood. So herbs and different kinds of resins are often added to the fire to really get at some of that incense-like sort of character, that almost like frankincense and myrrh kind of character that some Latakia has. We came up with a process that would largely remove a lot of the excess soot from the tobacco and would allow a lot of the other flavors that I think are really present there to come through. And so because of that, because this was a process that we came up with at C&D, we wanted to call it Palmetto Balkan. We are here in the Palmetto state of South Carolina, and this is something that we think is sort of pioneering. This is something that we think we've come up with something quite unique and special. We've done 2,800 tins for release this year, so I don't think it will be in stock very long. Definitely get it while it's hot, but I hope you all enjoy Palmetto Balkan just as much as I am.